how to invest in tax liens and tax deeds. This is going to be a fun video, especially if you know nothing about tax lien certificates. I'm going to get you well educated on the way by the time we get done with this. Tax lien and tax deed investing will offer you the opportunity for the normal people, that'd be you and me, to get started with a very little amount of money and blow it into a profound retirement or a lifestyle for you and your family. I'm going to show you how to do all of this. Here's the key, and here's probably the misnomer, is that you don't have to be there live and in person to do this, period. Okay? And I'm going to save the best for last. You're not kicking anybody out of their property. You're actually helping the property owner. I'm going to disclose all of this and how it works throughout this video. So stick around, and I got a real cool thing at the very end for you. Okay, so let's make that happen. Matter of fact, if you have any questions, because there's going to be a lot of information in it, type the questions out, hit the subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll get right down to it. So let's just talk about it. Tax liens and tax deeds. Okay, these are two different sides of the same coin. Okay, so what is a tax lien certificate? A tax lien certificate, very simply, is a first position lien on a property due to delinquent property taxes. Okay, so what it is this. When a property owner, anywhere in the United States, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, when a property owner becomes 1 year delinquent on the property taxes, the county can have a sale sometimes. Okay, so what happens is the states dictate the rules for that state. So some states say, we'll allow you to sell the tax lien within 1 year. Okay, after that 1 year, you can sell it, and we're going to establish an interest rate. That interest rate can be 12% on the low side-ish. There's some lower, but there's some caveats there, up to about 36% on the high side. So what happens is this. They say, okay, we need this money. So what does the county need the money for? They need it for roads, bridges, fire departments, schools, all that good stuff. So they say, okay, Mr. Public, we're going to offer these to you. So you and I put up the money. Now, you're not buying somebody's house. Okay, don't confuse tax deeds with tax liens. All we're doing is giving the money to the county, because remember, this timeline here, 1 year delinquent, can't get the property yet. Okay, at this point, we're just buying a lien. If you buy a lien on a property, your desire is to get an interest on your money. You're not buying a lien on the property hoping they don't pay. That doesn't work that way. Buying a lien on the property, they still have 2 or 3 more years to pay this off. So at that point, they're going to get a grace period. Actually, the legal term is called a redemption period. So you buy the lien, and they have a year, 2 years, or maybe even 3 years to pay that off. I want you to think about that. So let's talk about helping the property owner. Well, how are you helping the property owner? You just put a lien on the property. I didn't do anything. They didn't pay their taxes. The lien's already there. I'm just giving the money to the county. When they pay the county the back taxes, they don't owe me the money. They owe the county. The county sees that I'm the lien holder of record, and they issue me my money plus my interest rate whenever they redeem. Now remember, just because it's a 1 year redemption period or 2 year redemption period doesn't mean it's going to wait that long. Shoot, you could be redeemed in 6 months and have a big old check and do it over again. This is like legally printing money in your basement. Okay, you send money to the government and they send you back more than you gave them. I mean, it's really that simple. Okay, so the other side of it, now we're going through this timeline and you're saying, okay, that's all fine and dandy, but what happens if they don't pay? That's when we start going into the other side of the timeline, which starts turning into a tax deed. It doesn't do it magically. This isn't Cinderella leaving the ball and she turns into a pumpkin, okay? You have to initiate foreclosure. Okay, so at the end of that redemption period, it is your responsibility, depending on the county, and we'll get to that a little later, to say, hey, these people haven't been paid. I want my money. I'm going to go ahead and start the foreclosure process. Now, do not do this on your own under any circumstances. We'll tell you when to use a county or when to use an attorney. But either one of those are professional. There's going to be an additional fee, somewhere between $1,000 on the low side to maybe $2,500 on the high side. It really depends on the complexity of this particular property on here. So once that starts to happen, that initiates a second phase of it where they say, all right, y'all owe some money on this property. They want their money on the property, so we're going to go ahead and start the foreclosure. So if there is a bank loan, a mortgage, a second loan, IRS lien, all of those, they get notified. So once they get notified on this, they have somewhere between 60 to 90 days. Again, it depends on the municipality to come in and respond to those notifications. And the notifications going, look guys, if you don't redeem on this thing, your position is going to be wiped out. Now, this isn't some, I'm shocked, I'm a bank, I didn't know they could wipe me. Banks know this. They know that if you jeopardize their situation, they can come in and satisfy the lien, but immediately call the note due on payment right there. They're not going to wait the 30 years. They want their money right there. You just jeopardize their situation, and they want their money, so they'll foreclose, okay? So the banks know that these exist. Not a big deal. Anybody else, if they don't come in, including the bank, they're wiped out, okay? There is no recourse after that. So now it's turned into a tax deed, okay? I'm still not free and clear. Once I have that, I've got to go ahead and start cleaning up the title now. All of this junk that was on there before that I just wiped out needs to be properly done. So they can't do that until it goes to the foreclosure. Once the foreclosure goes in there, the attorney or whoever I hire in this situation will uncloud the title, clear the title, clean the title, obey the title, whatever they call it in that particular area. What they're doing for complete basicness is they're taking that title and clearing everything off of there, which brings me to something else. The most pure way to clean up a title, the easiest way to get rid of everything is through a tax deed sale, which we'll get to in a moment. But that's just what happened. This lien turned into a deed. So every once in a while, you will be at a tax deed sale, which we're getting to in a second, and the county official will say, the family is trying to clear title on this property. Please, nobody bid. They'll put it through the procedure. The family will buy it or whoever it is so they can properly clear all of this 100 years worth of whatever that's on there, okay? That's because nothing survives a tax deed foreclosure. So that's how you get a property with a tax lien. Tax deed is the other half of the United States. So you've got half of the country does it in tax liens. And it's not divided out, it's random all over the place. So a tax deed says, I think we're going to do this. Yeah, they owe us some taxes, but we won't take any legal action until we foreclose on the property, and typically that starts within 3 to 4 years. So if it's a 3-year redemption period, a 3-year, they've been behind on their taxes and they have a tax deed sale, that means there's a 1-year redeemable deed because it has to go 4 years before anybody can get that property. Okay, so for instance, like Georgia says, okay, we're going to have a tax deed sale. Oh, wait, there's 1-year redemption period because technically they've only been delinquent 3 years. 3 plus 1, 4, foreclose. Okay, now at a tax deed sale, I go in there, I'm doing all of my research, I'm making sure everything's good to go. What I do at that point is I'm going to buy the property. Okay, when I put my hand up there, there is no redemption period. I'm getting the property. The county has already foreclosed on it. I'm good to go, okay? So once I put my hand up and I'm the successful bidder, whatever that price is, I ain't done, okay? The next thing, now that it's got to foreclosure, and that's a legal point where I can wipe out everything else, now it's time to go in there and just like I did before, is uncloud, clear, or clean the title. Now that doesn't mean that during that time period, they can come in and redeem and protect their position. Once it's gone to the sale, you own the property, and you will own it free and clear. This is why I say you can buy a property for pennies on the dollar. Think about this for a minute. Think about buying a $250,000 property and only paying like $32,000 for it. Who's in? And there's even counties out there that if you don't have the $32,000, they'll finance it for you. I know it's crazy. Now, don't call it finance, okay? When is the money due? And they're going to say, oh, you have to put $5,000 or 7%, whatever is greater, and we want the balance in 90 days. Kind of sounds like a finance program. Or up in Hennepin County, up in Minnesota, they say put 10% down and make one payment a year for 10 years until it's all paid off. So they divide the balance up into 10 equal payments with no interest on it. Okay, that sounds like a finance program. But again, Texas does the same thing. Sometimes you go into Texas, if it's leftover inventory, and let's say they owe $10,000 in taxes, I could go, look, nobody's buying this. I'll give you $7,000 right now. Now, they might have to get some permission from people on that, but right now, all they're trying to do is get it back into the tax roll. And I've saved the best for last. Okay, think about this. Think about doing these in your retirement account. I mean, putting a property that's worth $250,000 and buying that deed for $30,000 in your retirement account in one fell swoop. You took a $30,000 retirement account and you turned it into $300,000. This is why we can say that this is literally the best investment strategy ever created by mankind. I've never seen it. It's been around 300 years. There's so much more. I literally had just a little bit of time on this. I've got a lot of information for you. If you would like some free training, okay, for you to get financially set and get those properties right away, then click on the link down below. It's higginsmethod.com, and I'll get you a free book called America's Secret Investment Strategy, okay? It's all to get you going to where you need to go financially for you and your family. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless and good luck. Thank you.